Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Fed Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is August 6, 2024, and today is Tuesday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, markets, free fall. But before we get into that, no major economic events scheduled for the latter part of the day. Earlier this morning, we did have a rate decision from the Royal Bank of Australia. Now looking at the market, starting out with the Forex symbols, the major pairs are either sitting on resistance or support, depending how they trade versus the US dollar. And as we shift over to the indices, we're watching the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ sell off and tumble for a second straight day. Dow Jones sells off over 1,000 points. Now, looking at commodities, they're all consolidating as they sold off, but did get it some bounce. And as we look at the stocks, they all were climbing out of a hole, which means they opened gap down, but they traded up throughout the day, which is somewhat of a positive sign. And lastly, look at cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin gets a bounce, which may give us some light at the end of the tunnel. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So everything is trading. We're going to start with the Euro USD because it's on that resistance level that I'm talking about. Now, when we get to this and we're seeing all the major pairs trading in tandem, which means that they're all either in support or resistance line, depending where they are, this may be a point where the markets do turn altogether. Now, if it doesn't break above this 109.47, we're going to see a correctional move. Now, looking at the GBP USD also, just on its supportish level, as it's, kind of really grappling with not breaking the support level and bouncing off of it. Now, the other one, which is the major, the Japanese yen, which saw a V formation. What I mean by that is that if I just change this into, you can't even see it when we're looking at a line chart, but this candlestick, this hammer formation is usually the end of the move, okay? So we're trading at 145, that's 150 pips, okay, that we've seen, 1,500 pips that we've seen it correct itself. And that is super important because the market is at a turning point right now, what it seems. Okay, so we're going to jump into commodities. Gold showing some strength still yesterday after selling off to 23.66, but selling off right now. Looking at crude oil, we did see a hammer formation also, but holding on to that supportish level as well. Now jumping into the US markets, this is where it gets really, really interesting. Let's look at a daily chart. We saw a massive sell-off from 41,000 to 38,600. We saw 1,000 point sell-off yesterday, but the markets are turning upwards right now, okay, which is a positive sign. If you look at the NASDAQ, also a double bottom here for both of them, okay, which is also a very positive sign. When we look at a daily, it looks much worse, right, because we dipped below the 200-day moving average, but we closed above and we held it. The question is whether or not this is going to be able to sustain itself. Now, you only know later today with how the stocks actually are trading. The Nikkei right now is still up, okay? And so there's some positive light there. Now, looking at Microsoft, I want to just highlight this because this did gap down, but it climbed out of the hole. It ended up in the day in a certain sense because, yes, did it close lower than when it opened? Yes, but it was climbing out of the hole. It would have been much worse. And if we look at some of the other big ones, Apple also, look at that massive move, 198 to 209 within a day's trading. Amazing volatility in the markets if we look at that. Okay, if we look at the other ones as well, NVIDIA also had that huge gap down to $90, but ended up the day at $98 a share. So it could have been much worse. If we look at the VIX, it's still up there. The VIX is the volume index. It shows us how the volatility is in the market. Now, it is still above 30, and we saw it had a huge gap up. Will this be a turning point for the VIX, and that means that the markets will go up? It's yet to be seen, but you're going to have to really pay attention to it. They're not going to give it to you all together, but they're going to give it to you in pieces, and that's how you're going to have to come up with your day plan. Now, looking at Bitcoin, also had a massive sell-off yesterday. This was the first one to go, and now it's actually trading up. It's getting a bounce. The question is whether or not this is going to be a dead cat bounce. We're going to see ourselves testing our lows again, or we're going to see this making a correctional move to the upside. That is yet to be seen, but look for the levels. It's going to be a great day. Have a great day. We'll see you here tomorrow on the Daily Review. Have a good day, everybody.